You think if you were banging in all those extra points and the one field goal that you'd be the...
No, I think on Twitter I talked with Troy last week about it because Javonte had a great game in Kansas City, and I think it's a skewed award at times. I don't know if it's written in the rules that you have to win the game, but what I've noticed over these 8 years is you do. No, obviously I appreciate the award, and I was able to honor Demaryius, wearing my cleats. So it's special to me in that sense, and but I think they could look at ways to possibly change that award because I'm sure there was a guy who kicked further or more kicks than I did.
Did you get a waiver from the fashion police on fines with the cleats?
What do you mean?
You didn't get fined for anything?
Well, there's also a nice clause in the rule books that kickers kind of can wear whatever they want, kickers and punters. So we can really wear any color. We don't have color schemes or anything like that. Plus, I wear number 8, so I don't know. They might not be able to get away with me with that. So who knows? I don't know.
How tough has it been for you these last, 6 weeks between Vaughn getting dealt and then obviously the Demaryius news recently?
Well, the Vaughn dealing is business. I was cut 3 times, in this world, and it's part of the business. Obviously, I miss my friend here, but I lost a teammate, but I didn't lose my friend, and so I talk to him all the time still, and it's whatever George thought was right for the team, and moving forward or acquiring draft picks for the future. It's his prerogative, and then obviously with Demaryius, so tragic. It still kills me to this day, and any video where I hear his voice, and I just remember all the conversations we've had together, and even this past at Peyton's enshrinement, having a chance to speak with him, and talking about how close we were, and you'd love to hang out this off season and stuff. So that's the difficult thing. I saw how great he was with other people's kids, and didn't have a chance to meet mine yet. So that's was the most difficult.
You were the last remaining player, Brandon, from the Super Bowl 50 team. Do you sense an energy around this team that reminds you of a playoff type team, and how much would it mean to be part of the team that gets back?
Well, it would definitely mean a lot. I've been tired of being in Cancun pretty early. I know that's the saying for people not in the playoffs, but yeah, I think there's always been a sense of urgency, even in the off season for this year. I thought in training camp, I think I talked to some of you guys about it. Just the urgency that and some of the leadership that Teddy brought over. That it's, and something I try to get across is if you're not winning, the front office will always look for to replace you. Obviously, if you're a first-round pick, they're still looking to replace you because that's just the nature of this business. But if you're not winning, there's not much of individual success that's going to come out of you, and you're going to be able to play in this league a long time, or obviously make good money in this league and take care of your family for years to come. But really, if you're not winning, obviously there's some circumstances where it works. But in order to really grow yourself in this game and stuff, you got to make plays individually, and obviously it'll be team success. And you have a lot of players going out there, a lot of young guys as well, who want to make a name for themselves and kind of stamp their name in this league, which is awesome to see, and it's really pushed a lot of players and gelled everyone together. So it's been good to see, and it's always good to be playing important football in December, which we haven't been able to do.
Brandon, at the end of the first half, there was a possibility that it could have been a long field goal. It worked out differently. I'm just curious. Conditions are good. What is the number as far as how back you guys will go or be willing to go? Theoretically, there's no time left on the clock, all that. I mean, what is the number?
I do think that I'm not the right person to ask that question to. No, the kick would have been 64 before the play to Jerry, and then I think it would have been 58 or 57 before the penalty. It really depends on each game. Temperature means a lot more than altitude to me. Kicking here, just the temperature of the game, of the outside, has a lot to do with how the ball is going to feel.
Pretty warm.
I know it was. No, that game was fine. I think I made I think I made 70 warm-ups. I didn't make it after that. I do feel definitely comfortable for sure at 68 almost any game, any temperature in that sense. But beyond that, you know, it's a lot of luck at a certain point too at that time, at that distance. You know, the kick, the 52-yarder, I hit, you know, pretty well. You know, probably one of my better kick distance-wise. That definitely would have had a chance to break any record.
On a day like this, if the wind were at your back today, that wind,
Oh.
how far could you kick?
Well, I hope we're not kicking much. Yeah, it's that windy. But it's tough because I'll give you a little quick physics lessons here. If I'm trying to kick the ball up in the air, if I'm trying to, okay, layman's terms, I'll try to kick it up, you know, at a peak on the hypotenuse. If the wind is so strong, it's never going to get that high. So all these kicks will kind of be a lot lower and targeted. So I don't technically know. So a super high wind like this probably is not as far as even just a 10 or 15 mile per hour wind behind you, because that'll allow you still to kick the ball high in the air, you know, which will allow the ball to carry further for you.
During that Bills-Patriots game, did you find yourself thinking, well, here's how I would do this in that particular situation?
We played in Buffalo. I don't believe it was that windy, but we played in Buffalo. I think that was the Vaughn fake handshake pickup Tyrod Taylor, and we had a wind that was pretty extreme, and it was a 48-yarder, and fourth down came up. It was like 4th and 8 or something or long, and I was like, "There's no way we're kicking this," because their kicker Hauska couldn't even make 40 yards in that direction, and I was barely making 45, 46, and I was like, "Wow, I'm not kicking this." So Vic calls timeout, and then so I'm walking back to the sideline, and then all of a sudden they call a field goal. I said, "Oh, no way!" And I actually made it. It was probably my best kick in my career, to be honest with you. I think that's how difficult it was. But obviously, I was happy I wasn't kicking in that wind. So yeah, I think that was the closest wind I've probably kicked into that.
Brandon, with your player rep hat on, do you hope there's daily testing down the stretch, or what would you say?
It's a good question. I was just, talking with Eric because he said, the rules obviously are so different and ever changing, and he said how Teddy and I guess Justin did their interviews with masks up here, and I said, I don't know, because there actually hasn't been much communication with the union and the league or to the teams, or it's definitely more of a Wild West, I'd say, this year than it was last year. Obviously, much more restrictions last year, which were, I guess, easier to follow. So it was, I guess, getting more information, accurately, versus now, I kind of don't even know. We haven't had, I haven't had a union call in 2.5 months about any of the stuff. So I don't know. I think there's a reason that people are testing positive. I don't know exactly why, but obviously in order to play the games, we got to have most of the players available to play, and currently a lot of teams are struggling with that. So we'll have to try to figure out how to keep players from not getting the virus.
Do you think players should get booster shots?
I don't know that. I'm not a medical professional. I know one thing, what the boosters do, they increase the antibodies in your system. Something I would love for the league to do, or our team, I haven't had a chance to speak with Vince yet, is to provide antibody testing, so that way players can make the informed decision. If they got the vaccine and they have a low antibody count now, okay, well, then maybe you should get the booster. If you got the vaccine, or or even the unvaccinated, if they had COVID before and they have a super high antibody number, then, well, maybe they can make their own decision. So that's something I would like to see is the league provide for us, so that way players can make the informed decision for themselves, because kind of right now, which is fine what they're doing, is I don't think very many players have gotten the booster shot. Maybe if they provide information like that to the players, each week, it's just a blood prick. It's not much at all to provide the antibody numbers. That way players can make the decisions for themselves.
Okay, thank you, Brandon.
Thanks, Brandon.
Yeah.